Saludo, mi gente, and welcome to another Q&A session with My Final Shot Productions with yours truly, Mo Zapata. My guest today is Yecenia Jessie Cotto, and this lady is special to me simply because you hear all those fans streaming? It's incredible.
You're gonna stop saying fans.
Ahorita hablamos de eso. This lady is special to me because this woman has been basically if I have 8 short films, she's probably been in 4 or 5 of them. And if
No,
I have,
7.5.
and if I have 12 short films, she's probably been in 7. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome all Jessie Jesenia Cotto. A pleasure to have you here with me. Saludos.
You're my John Hughes. I'm your Molly Ringwald.
Si tú lo dices, yo lo creo.
It's true. She's like in all his films.
So it's something like that. ¿Verdad? It's a weird relationship, but we could talk about that in a few. We're here to talk about a few things, pero one of the things that I haven't spoken about is A Matter of Seconds. Obviously, you came on board with that one a little late. Any recollection of that film? Or before we get into
phone call. It was a phone call. I think I was going to the store to get toilet paper or something. And you were like, I need you. And I was like, really? Like now?
Wait,
so I think I just didn't get the toilet paper.
How did that happen? No, seriously. How the hell did that happen?
No, I mean, not literal, but it didn't happen like that exactly. But it was like one of those, like, I need you tomorrow at 4 a.m. Can you make it? And I'm like, I have a life, but yeah. So it was one of those, like, I just need to fit a part in, and can you do it? And I'm like, okay. And then you called back and said, and wear pajamas, bring pajamas. And I was like, all right, cool.
Exactly.
So you're de greñosa. Like this, my hair was all over the place. I had my pajamas and my shirt. And I was like, let's do it.
Right, exactly.
We can do it.
Entonces, just to preface a little bit, I don't know if you guys, hopefully you guys have already watched A Matter of Seconds. Based on the viewership, I know that you need a special YouTube channel because they consider it rated R or something to that effect. So it's the film that has the least views. Pero if you have your own YouTube channel or connection, you probably will be able to see it without all these red flags. I think there's only really one sex scene in the film. Pero que they, I don't know if they flagged it. That's why it has very little viewership.
Because there's violence in it.
No, there is a scene with a shooting or something to that effect. Pero there is no really blood or violence or to that effect. It's just a shot. I think the sex scenes is really what the moaning and the grabbing and I think that's what is getting people in an uproar. I don't know how these algorithms work or why certain things get flagged and other films don't. Pero let me just say this: A Matter of Seconds. I think I had a great cast. At the last minute, we decided to add an extra scene, and that's when Jessie Cotto got involved. And I'm glad she did it because it moved the story further, which is wonderful. Pero we're not really here to talk about A Matter of Seconds. We're really here to talk about Susto. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. How did that land in your lap? How did that role come to you?
You didn't want me for that part, by the way. You wanted someone else. You actually
no me hable de mí, hable de la gente. Speak to the audience. Don't speak to me.
So Mo didn't want me. He didn't want me to play that part. And he had me playing parts in every other film that he would call me last minute for. This film was actually thought out, written out time. And he was telling me about it. And I remember we were taking a cab to, what's her name? The one from Empanadas went to her 50th birthday party.
Oh, Yvette Hernandez Ramos, yes.
We went to Yvette's
right.
50th birthday party.
It was there. That's true. That is true.
And we were online waiting for food. And I'm like, so tell me more about this film. And you're like, and I was like, I gotta be in it. And you were like, Mo says, no, like I already casted the part for Libby.
No diga nombre, está bien.
No, the what's her name?
Yeah, I'm not talking names. They didn't get it.
I hate when you do that.
So
But
you
anyway,
did
he's
it.
like, I already casted the part. No, the name of the character, my character, and I
Oh,
think
Lavi.
Lavi. I already casted Lavi. And I'm like, no, you got to give it to me. Your loyalty to me. I don't care who you casted. Tell her you can't do it. That you said I can do it and you forgot. And you're like, no, no, stop, 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 stop. On our way back home, I'm telling you that again. I think I even texted him a couple of times. Like, you got to give me the part. Then he says, I'm waiting because I want to cast this guy, Andre Chulisis. I'm going to one of his shows. Right. And once I cast him, because I'm like, you were really like, you knew you were going to get him. He was like, once he's casted, we're ready to go. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what happened. He goes to Andre's show. You told me you spoke with Andre outside, and Andre was like, send me the script. Read it. I'm going to do it. Right? Now you're saying that you casted it. I did a prayer or two, and I was like, please make the girl disappear. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. And I need you to play Lavi. I was like, oh, really? Fine. I'll do it. And that's how I got it.
So I'm just gonna
It
say
really did happen like that. You didn't want me.
all I'm gonna say is that the stars were aligned, and I don't know what candles worked or what didn't work, but all of a sudden everything came into place.
It really did.
And Susto it was a fun shoot, ¿verdad? And we had a blast. I had seen Chulisi in a play, and that is true. I did approach him, which is weird. It never really happens this way, but I think Chulisi was hungry or something to that effect, and he was, and I think he said, "I'm going for breakfast," and I said, "Well, can we follow you to breakfast, or if you guys," I think he said to us, "If you guys want to continue talking to me about this movie why don't we go to breakfast together?" And then that's when I approached and I said, "Okay, we'll do that," and that's what it was. And then once I pitched it to him, he says, "Okay, I have a feeling I'm interested, and I think I want to do it." And eventually, I had to write the whole thing and finish it up and whatever. And this is it. This is what came out.
Which for me was exciting because when I came in for the reading, it was an all new cast, right? You didn't reuse anybody.
Correct.
Except for me, right?
Right.
And so I was introduced to Andre that he was like really about his stuff and serious, and he really challenged me in this film, like with my character. And then AB, so it was cool. It was like he was perfect for that. You know, he didn't do like he did what he needed to do, right? It was like for him, he didn't have to do much. He needed to just be AB, right? If you know what that means. If anyone knows AB Lugo, you know that he was just AB. And if you watch the film, just it was enough, right? I don't think anyone else could have played that. It was so fun. It was so fun.
Ahora, let me just ask this then. Is there a funny story that happened while you were shooting? Something that stands out that's funny? Or weird, or something that was out of whack, out of place?
No, nothing was out of place. Funny, I think for me was the part when you just kept putting the camera in Andre's face and he had to keep saying "I que susto" like 1,000 times in different ways, right? But it was really good to see it and how he would just like change it, and then we'll start laughing. Funny was the part where we were really feeling. We were all scared when we were filming at night. I was like 12 midnight, 1 in the morning. I don't know, and we were there all day. And there was really this eerie feeling in the hallways, like cold that night. It was like a snowstorm. We were there for like 3 days. It's a snowstorm, and we all felt like something was there, like there was an energy there. And we're walking into the rooms, like we all peek our heads. 1, 2, 3. It's like Andre peeks his head, I peek my head, and AB, and we're walking, and we're all like really nervous, and the energy was like quiet. And I see like a jacket, and I start hitting the fucking jacket. Like that was a really scary moment for me because I was like, what? And then Andre's like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to ruin it. And we kept it. Do you remember?
Yes. I think we kept that.
So,
we kept it in the film. I think that's.
We did it twice. For me, I don't know which part you took first, but we did it twice. Like, I hit something, and then we just all start yelling. And then we go and like, go, keep going, keep on. I don't know who said keep going. Andre, you or Anthony Ruiz. Like, keep going. Like, do it again, do it again. So, like, yeah, we captured that moment. And when me, Andre and AB were in the staircase. And we didn't actually see when AB had his heart come out of his chest because it had to be shot, at a different time. Same day, but we couldn't be there. Right. And we start yelling, like we're yelling and really like holding each other. And we were trying not to throw each other down the steps. And we're like screaming and we fucking nervous, like, That was good. For me, those parts are the best for me. That night, that whole night of filming was so real.
Yeah.
So real. It was really scary. Really, really scary.
I think the place lended itself también to the shoot in the sense that we were shooting at night, so that made it a little bit more real. And yeah, there were things in La Tea. I mean, there's certain stories that that have happened at La Tea. That there were probably some ghosts there for real or whatever. I'm not going to share that right now because I think that
Please don't.
if I get somebody else involved and we have a Q&A with that person, then they can share a little light on that. Pero could that lend a little bit more of authenticity to the location and what we were doing? And yeah, it felt a little there were that even as I was there, también I felt a little creepy. Y también
It was the best place.
we had on set people that were or consider themselves sensitives or people that are connected to, and they were pulling me to the side and they were telling me, Mo, you really want to shoot here? Because we're not really alone here. So even that conversation led to more authenticity as we were doing the film, which I think was, at the end of the day, I'm proud of how everything came out.
No, it was good.
Do you have a favorite scene in that movie?
I gotta say the whole part, like I was telling you, the night that we filmed, my favorite scene is like when and it's really short. It's like a millisecond when me and Andre are in the staircase. Like we're really fucking scared. And we're like really holding each other and trying to move each other out because we're like yelling like, oh shit, AB, like to this character. Like we're yelling like, oh my God, like the ghost killed him. Like, what are we gonna do? We were really in that moment, like, that's it. Oh shit, he's dead. This moment is real. It's not a show, it's not fake. Right? Like it was a really coming to Jesus moment, like, yo, we fucked up. We're gonna die in this bitch. Yeah, so excuse my language, but
No.
yeah, for me that was one of my favorites. That's number one. Number two was when I was laying on the couch, which you guys cut the scene too, when I'm like doing the research of the place to like send them the stuff when I'm eating all the candy and stuff like that. That was like a cool scene, like by myself to improvise that. So yeah, I love that. I love the whole thing. I gotta be honest. I think this is one of your best. Your best. It's funny. It really embodies who you are as a writer, and it was fun. Andre pushed me. Like he was like, take that script out of your hands. Like learn your part, learn the words, and just if not improvise, get in the moment. He really pushed me. Like I love to work with a crew like that. That really pushes you to be better. Right? He wasn't about the games at all. Right. And if not, he was off to himself, just doing his thing, and then come back like I'm ready. I love that. I love that. He really challenged me.
Sometimes you
I
need that.
enjoyed myself.
Yeah, and sometimes you need an actor in the cast that can hold the cast together and can pull them through, and in a way follow their lead. And in a weird way, which is something that he also says in the movie as a character. He goes, "I want you to take this moment and follow my lead." And in a way that he applied that even behind the scenes, because in the moments where we were getting ready to shoot a scene or we were working on makeup or something, it's always good to stay busy and stay and stay in the moment, stay busy, stay within the character. Just don't take that moment to make the phone calls, get on texting or whatever. No.
Yeah.
We're about to shoot that scene. Oh, yeah, we needed to take moments to work on makeup and try to work the special effect that we were going to be working with, because I also invited, which I thought was a great thing too. I invited my editor to the set just to have that sense that, yeah, we can do that, Mo, or no, we cannot work on that.
Right.
And it was great to have Clayton Alice on set, because he also helped me gear the project to things that, obviously I'm hungry and I want to get away with stuff, but he would also pull me in, right, and say, that's not going to work, or yeah, we can do that we can do. And I thought that was important. I'm glad, that he was also on set with us as we, did the film. So I thought that was important.
Me too. Then that would have been a waste.
Say that again.
I said that would have been a waste had he not.
Yeah.
I like Clinton, by the way.
I'm pretty sure.
Also, really quickly,
I'm pretty sure they'll appreciate that.
watching the film, I forgot his name. The part where Montes' head gets taken off
Yes.
and ripped off, and he runs up and they break his neck, and the way he fell, that was a good part too.
That was
That doesn't get a lot of shine.
yeah, they don't. Okay, so yeah, so they were part of the film crew that you allude to in the film. They were played by Monsi, who was fantastic, at Renee Banks, and Felix Isiano.
Yeah, he did great. He did great. His face, like it was believable. It was believable. Like I loved it. It was fun.
And the entity was portrayed by the two actresses, which was Natalia Escobar and Carolina Schumann, and they were great. También. I know that you do a lot of things. I know you're involved in a lot of things, and I think a lot of actors, actresses, and even people that are trying to, just reinvent themselves. They're into branding themselves as well. And I know you're involved in a lot of things. Can you talk to me a little bit about that, about the branding part of Jessie Cotto?
I mean, listen, what I can speak about now is just I'm rebranding myself now from being away for so long, right? And all I can do is just put everything I've learned in the past, right? And use that curriculum and just put it towards my life now, right? When you say branding, are you talking about like clothing? Everything. Or just like reinventing? Like this is the resurrection of me. I have honestly reinvented myself to just, and it's something that people have been doing for a really long time, right? But now I'm just getting here, right? I just got off on the elevator. I'm on that floor of I don't give a F, right? I'm going to be me, and I feel like I have more like I'm loving me more, right? And I can come out and I'm naked, right? And I'm just like, this is me, and I'm gonna add value to this part, right? Whereas before I was afraid. Like I would say yes to projects, and I knew that I can do it, but I wasn't giving my all. I feel like before, back in the early 2000s, even from getting my SAG card, like I got everything so easy, right? And when you say easy, like from the stories that I was told, remember, I lived in Israel for 10 years. When I came back, I decided I wanted to start acting seriously over there. And I was like, I'm going to do it in New York. It's just easier for me. I come back, not even a month in, I get a gig from a film, Tony and Tina's Wedding, and I got all of my waivers in just one project, right? Where I was hearing stories that people, it takes them years to do this, right? And I made enough money plus to pay for my SAG card right away. At the time, it was $1,000. It was $1,200. Now it's like $4,000, and I had more money. So that came easy to me. Getting casted came easy. So I really didn't have to work for it. And when you don't have to work for something, you don't know the meaning of it. You just don't. You don't know the importance of it. You just like, all right, I'm here. Hi. The champ is here, and you're really not a champ. You're just getting by, right? Because at least me, because I didn't take it seriously. And then, when you go through things in life, right? And you see, you know what? Like, I want to do this. I want to try this. And you're good at something else. You do it, right? And I've said, you know what? I'm not really into the whole acting thing right now. I remember you asked me, like, should we do projects? And I'm like, no, I don't really want to do that. So I was like, I'm working with clothing. Even that, I'm not going to say that came easy to me, but it was actually like when I started to really look into myself and listen to myself in spirit. And the idea came to make a clothing line. And I didn't think that I could do something out of it, but it was an idea that really its time came and it blew up. It really did blow up. And who knew? I didn't know that this little Puerto Rican girl can have her own business and sell clothing like me. And it went from a t-shirt to then went to jackets to hoodies and the idea just kept expanding. And it wasn't the clothing, it was the words. They were my words. People were buying my words. They loved me. And when people truly love you because you are just being your authentic self and you're being vulnerable, and they need that, right? You're not sugarcoating shit. You showing them your vulnerable moments, which we need more of that. That's some real shit. So I needed to go through that, even losing the business, right? And how I lost it. I needed to go through that. So I have a story, right? And I always knew that I had a story, but now my story is that much more better, right? Because now there's pain in it, like real pain. Like now I got to work for my shit, right? So
But
now I'm going to work that much harder to do it.
it's still going on though.
Oh, definitely. Well, which part? Because
The
it's like
business,
both.
the
No,
business.
the clothing business that I had before Vibrating Higher is no longer like that fell apart. The idea is still there, right? The idea is still there, but I just have to go a different route. I can't work with who I worked with before, and that's fine. And it was one of the best experiences of my life, right? But I took that time out to focus on my business and not do the whole acting, which I could have done it all together, but I really wanted to learn the business.
Got it.
And then Avery was acting, and I was like, hey, I'll just do it with him. But we're bigger than that. Like, I don't have to choose. Avery can do what he's doing, and I'm going to do what I'm doing. Yeah. And then I was always approached to like do poetry. Like, I write, do poetry and perform it. And I did it. I did it. And I was nervous each and every time. And I think that really taught me, like from even before, like a lot of times I would say no to gigs because I was too afraid. And I let the fear consume me. Like it was paralyzing. You remember I walked off set one time, like trying, like, oh, like I can't do it. And no matter how like everyone looked at me and they thought, hey, like she's so like confident. And I was the opposite. I was losing my mind. I'm raising a young man. I don't know who the I am. I hated my weight. There was so many things that I hated about myself. You can't excel if you're hating on yourself, right? Like it's something you can't do. And I was really busy 10 years ago hating myself every single day. From the moment I woke up to the moment I slept. I went to sleep. So now it's a whole different story. Now it really is a whole different story because I went through shit. And I'm so happy about that. So now like when I'm being approached about gigs, I'm taking my time out to read it and see if it's a good fit for me so I can give my all. I'm not just going to take something just to take it, but I also want to learn from things, right? I want to take, you know what, maybe I can do this and just put my all in it. So absolutely, yes. And just be quiet about it until it comes out. Like before I would, post when I was filming and this, and I remember you would fight with me all the time, like, no, I don't want this on. Because it was like the allure of it, right? Without really putting the work in. Now it's time to work. I'm ready to work. You get to see it when it comes out. You
Right.
know?
I think
And
I
I like
think
where I am.
and you're in a good place. And we're going
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about that too. But you were alluding to like the challenges that we had, and I don't mind sharing that también with people. Obviously, Jesse was in the film Uncertainty. And I think there is where we had a little bit of a moment where I felt that as the writer, director, and knowing what she can bring to the table, I felt like she wasn't doing that. And of course, I mean, this is an this is an actor, director conflict, where I want something to come out and I know she can deliver, but I'm expecting something. And like she just alluded to, if you're in a place where it just is not, you're not there and you can't deliver it, as much as I know that you can, there is only so much that I can do without bringing everything to a big ass breaking point where it's not going to be conducive to the film, to you, to me, to the whole thing. And then I needed to navigate that and say, okay, esto no va a trabajar because collectively all these things are not there. But at the end of the day, the work that you did in that film was also at the I think at the end of the day, I think the film was also well received, and lately it's been getting new followers, people hitting it, they're watching it, and I feel good about that too. So for whatever that was or that those moments were, at the end of the day, it came together, and I can't ask, I can't ask for anything, without I'm not into this business of breaking down my actors, and asking them to give me something that they can't, or they're not there. I have to respect that too. And I could see that sometimes. I mean, I could push, but si no está ahí, no está ahí, and I can only push so much. So, and I have to respect that también. I have to be brave enough as a filmmaker to say, let me back away from that, because whatever comes next is not going to be good for anybody,
Yeah,
for anything in the production. So I'm glad
I agree.
you spoke to them.
No, yeah, but it happens to a lot of people. Go ahead.
Right. Otra preguntita aquí. If you were talking that right now you're in a good place. What are you currently working on now?
I don't know if I can tell.
Okay.
No, I can. I can. I'm working on a off-Broadway play called In the Crib. It's a comedy. And Felix Rojas, he is directing it. And I play Kiki, a woman who's in love with a man who is married, and her husband finds out. And my husband is played by Rob Torres, the comedian Rob Torres. So it's very interesting how that's going to play out, because if anybody knows who Rob Torres is, he's a very interesting character in real life, right? So I could just imagine me and him arguing on stage and how this chemistry is going to go. So I'm excited about it. And yeah, so yeah, that's what that's about. But we're currently rehearsing.
Good.
So that's all I would like to say about that right now until it happens, because it hasn't happened.
Okay. Está todo. Está bien.
No, yeah. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited to just start working. And listen, let me just tell you this, right? It doesn't matter what I've done before. And right now, like, I'm starting over. I have a lot to prove to myself. So, if the phone hasn't rang or whatever, it's my fault. I have to like build my resume again. And I'm so grateful that I get to build it again. I'm still here. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I get to do it. So this is one thing that I'm so proud of. And I hope that we have another interview so I could tell you what else and how far I've gone with my resume. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking forward to that.
Excellent.
I'm really confident. I'm really confident now that it's going to grow, because I'm going to be me.
Something that I always ask, and I'm going to ask you también ahora. I like to put light on somebody else that we may or may not know. Somebody that maybe we have to Google to find out who he or she is. Somebody that the general public may not know because they're not the top names in Hollywood. Who comes to mind, like when you say, oh my God, that person is acting, or that person is I can't believe she's on stage? Who comes to mind? Who do you champion? Who do you say, coño, I don't care if they don't know her, or I don't care if they don't know him, pero guess what? I'm gonna be there. Who's that person that no matter that the public may not know, and we need to look for them? Who is that person? Because we've shouted out here, believe it or not, in I don't know if people are watching, but in the past episodes, we've already shouted out people like Felix Rojas. Who comes to mind? Who?
The Rolodex in my brain is like going. I hate these questions. Like, can you play some Jeopardy music? I don't know. The only person I can think about, honestly, is Ricardo Herrera.
Okay.
He's a really good friend of mine, Latino. And when I met Ricardo, he goes by RH Comedy. He's really funny. And you're going to have to help me with this, because my memory, as I get younger, like, goes away. Like, I don't know. He had a show that I went to go see at Latea. Do you remember when he was telling a one-man show,
including a show called Naked?
Naked, yes. Well, I saw the second one, right? And like, I don't know how me and Ricardo like linked up. Like, and he was always so respectful. Such a beautiful guy, such a beautiful spirit. And from the beginning, he's like, "This is my sister." And really, just like, we'll get together, we'll start laughing. His humor is like no other. Okay, like we just start laughing and we get each other. And I went to go see his show and I was like, holy crap, this guy is freaking amazing. He plays the guitar, he's funny, he really went through some shit and he just has this beautiful way of putting things together that it's funny, it's humorous because the shit that we all go through. And it's like, it's so funny. But the story was beautifully told. And the hour and 20 minutes that I sat there looking at his play felt like 10 minutes. Like I wanted more. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I know him. And
Exactly.
oh my God, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's so like after his show, he's like so like let's go hang out. He's just so humble. He knows who he is. Then he wrote this show right after he got married and had his daughter called Dad Rippy. And it shines light on what men go through after they have babies, right? Because everyone is so focused on the woman and her postpartum and this and that. And men go through the same shit. Their lives change also, right? They see their wives' body change and they're like, holy crap, they see their baby being born. They can never look at them the same. Like, what the hell? Now I'm a dad and I'm a dad of a girl, right? It's just, and I speak with this guy, like he's a really good friend of mine. And no one really talks about it. No one really touches on men's mental health. And he really wrote about it and he made it a freaking comedy. And he put the other guy, El Modi fucker, what's his name? Oh my God, he's a good friend of mine too. I love him. His cast member. Oh God, the guy who plays alongside with him. And
the name escapes me, but I know.
Yeah, it's there too. I forgot.
Now shout out.
That's crazy because like we speak. That's not good. Long story short, you know, Ricardo is so talented. And I'm just so proud that, he stood dormant a little bit, right? He moved away with his wife and his daughter. And he was just basically really into just starting his life over. And I think that he went through what all of us went through. We all went through a dormant stage where we just like, we're going to go in hermit mode and try to reinvent ourselves. And we tried the real world. We tried the muggle world and we were like, nah, we're not doing this shit. Like, we're artists, man. We're witches. We're warlocks. We're this. We got to do this shit. And now he started to perform again. And I recently, you remember we were talking, we were having dinner, you and I, and we FaceTimed him. And we're like, yo, we see you, getting back up there. And it takes courage not being in the light and stepping back on stage as the new you. Because everyone thinks that they know you because they knew you before. They don't know you anymore. Right? So they could only go based off of those last books, those last chapters. There's a whole new book. Absolutely. There's a whole new me.
Yep.
And he got on stage and he did, I think it was like a 20-minute stand-up. That shit is hard. That's not easy.
Yep.
And he start to finish.
I love Rick Herrera también. I'm glad you mentioned him.
Absolutely. I admire him.
El tipo,
and his wife.
He's on, Alexandra Gutierrez también, beautiful person. And I met her at a festival, just, whatever. Obviously, the hunger is there. We aspire to be something greater than just the people that are just helping or hosting a film festival or whatever. Pero going back to Rick, the talent, you can't take away from what he wants to put out, and like you said, sometimes you need that little break and to reinvigorate yourself, take a pause, see where you're at in life, and then say, coño, okay, at the end of the day, this is who I am. This is what's calling me. This is what I'm supposed to do in a weird way. And then all of a sudden you find yourself on stage again and getting reinvigorated and saying, you know what, I need to finish what I started. And for that, I have to applaud people like Rick because he's doing it,
Absolutely.
And the other thing también that you have mentioned and that I want people to understand, especially those people who are performing, who are filmmakers, who are actors, actresses. I've said this before, I think sometimes we're just too freaking hard on ourselves. It's okay to put the pause button. It's okay to take a break and see what you want to share with the world. Obviously, if this is your calling, whether you're an artist and you have something to, and this is your gift, right, that God has given you, and I don't want to get too spiritual or whatever, but
Please do.
if God
Please do.
gave you a gift, then you can't hold on to this gift all to yourself. Eventually, it needs to come out, and you need to share it with the world, whether that's performing, writing, or doing a combination of everything. And when Rick is on stage, there's something special happening. Para la gente que no lo han visto, some of those shows and some of those skits are on YouTube. Jesse mentioned it. The guy's name is Rick Herrera. Like I said, we always give a shout out to that person. I'm glad.
Yeah, you can mention him when you put this up. Mention him at Dad. Put it up. It's called Dad Rippy, and put his Instagram so they can reference what he's doing, so they can check him out. He's awesome.
Yep, the show is Dad Graffiti, DAD Graffiti.
Dad Rippy. No, Dad Rippy, like therapy without the thera.
Estate quieta, no me grites.
Dadra.
We'll figure it out. We'll mention it again.
Don't tell me to calm down. No one has ever calmed down when you tell them to calm down.
No estoy regañando gente, pero another person that I want to shout out is a good friend of mine. His name is Oscar de la Paz. The man does a lot of parties. He does a lot of karaoke hostings and DJ hostings. He's got a hell of a library. He always knows how to throw a party. And I think sometimes even that, right? Sometimes we take the DJ or we take the person who's carrying the party, or the person who's invited to the bar, or the person who's invited to the location, and sometimes we take that person for granted. I think he's a veteran. El tipo tiene experiencia. He can definitely throw a party. He's always going to be a good time, always throwing a good vibe. If you Google him, his name is Oscar de la Paz. He's all over the city. He's all over Williamsburg. He's in Coney Island. El tipo is amazing. You gotta, just check out one of his at the locations to know that he's just throwing a good party. He's always having a good time. So that's gonna be my shout out. Oscar de la Paz, KJ karaoke DJ, también a DJ. So look him up. He's a good man. He's a good un veterano. So whenever you can, just support one of those locations where he's at. Shifting gears a little bit aquí. Best piece of advice that somebody has ever given you, or words to live by that you say, Jessie Cotto, this is the words that this is what I want to give my audience. Either somebody that gave it to you, or somebody or words that you live by.
No, my dad always told me when I was younger. My dad told me, no matter what you do in life, be the best at it. He said, I don't care if you clean toilets for a living. And that's what he said to me when I was like 7. That I was just like, toilet cleaner. Like, I hate to clean. Like, I don't want you to, like, doing chores was like my worst nightmare. So for him to tell me that was a nightmare for me. But he said it didn't matter. Whatever you do in life, be the best at it. Whether it's clean the toilets and don't give a fuck. That's what he told me. Be the best at it. Because you are. The second one was my uncle. His name was Ivan. And one day I used to have the Holly Hobby doll. If everybody remember, I'm that old. Holly Hobby. And you would like pull her pigtails and her eyes would open or close or whatever. And I was playing with it one day. And I'm just playing, just really deep in playing. And I don't know I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know what happened. I know that he just hugged me and started crying. And he told me, you are going to make it. He was like, you're going to be something so beautiful and so great in life. He says, I know that you're not being treated the way you want to as a young little girl, but this is a lesson for you. And that memory came back to me a couple of years ago. And it made me flood with tears because I didn't understand what he was telling me. I didn't understand. I was like, that's too deep for a young girl. That's too deep. But today, I understand that. I understand that. I'm like, me? Like, I'm going to be somebody? Someone who's been overlooked her entire life? Yeah, I am. I already am that somebody. I just got to keep going for myself. That's it. So no, yeah, it's just, if God put that in you, it's for you. Like, you just don't, I just feel like I was at my purest when I was a child. I had no fear, right? And I always wanted to be an actress. Always. If there's one thing ever, if ever anyone asked me, only later on in life I stopped saying that I wanted to be an actress, because I thought that it was just such an unrealistic thing to be able to achieve. Because everyone will always say, make sure you have a plan B. Because if you don't have a plan B, like, no one makes it, right? And that really did stick with me. I wore that. I need that plan B. Right. And I was just like, damn, like, I got to be something else. I got to do something else and put my focus on something else. I can't give 100% to what I love, because it's not going to happen. Right. And I always, like the adults back in the days used to have their time. Kids respected. I was in a room day and night watching novelas. Okay, All My Children, One Life to Live, verbatim, honey. I was dramatic. MTV, I knew all the songs. I wanted to be a performer. I knew that. So this, I know God put that in me. I'm gonna do it. I just needed to believe in myself. I'm no longer an ageist. It's gonna happen when it needs to happen.
Absolutely.
That's just where it is. And we're always gonna get rerouted. We're always gonna be rerouted, and we're always gonna get to the same destination. We're in that car and we're driving.
Yep.
The GPS is like, reroute, 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 but the destination is still the same place, honey.
Absolutely.
And I will get there.
Yeah. Una preguntita, a quick spitfire round here. Ready? Talita, you ready for me?
Does this involve thinking?
You're doing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't have to. If you can't think straight, está bien. Favorite word?
FUCK.
Nice.
This is it's just, yeah.
You elaborate?
Oh, yala. Yala is my favorite word.
Inquiring minds want to know that. ¿Qué es eso? FUCK. ¿Qué significa eso?
The fuck? It just goes with everything. Like,
Right.
where the F am I?
Okay.
What the F is going on? Why the F am I up this early? Why the F do I gotta go? I can keep on. What the F are you watching?
I think we got
the
picture.
F are you filming? What the F are you writing?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Favorite movie?
Pretty in Pink.
What?
John Hughes, Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink.
John Hughes, Molly Ringwald. Oh my God.
¿Y por qué? Why?
This girl also went through a lot in her life. She was raised by a single dad. Her mom wasn't there. The story was like what I kind of went through, but opposite. And she was an outcast. She was very different. She was super talented, made her own clothing and had her own mind, and was being punished because she was different. And people didn't have the guts to be her. And she was her the entire time. But she did it scared. She went to school with a bunch of rich kids and worked in the local radio station, record store. You know what I'm saying? So she had to go to work after school in order to keep up, but she didn't even really care to keep up. You know what I'm saying? And then this guy who's super rich falls in love with her, and her insecurities came down like a storm. It really did. She was just started to question who she was. Like, oh my God, why would he like me? I'm not enough. Where he was trying to keep up with her. Didn't matter how much money he had. He wanted her because she was different. I love that movie. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
I love it. Otra preguntita aquí. Another question here. A performance that you've seen in a film and you went, damn, that is so good, or something that you saw recently, or something that you saw que se quedó contigo, a performance that you saw that stuck with you or spoke to you, and you go, damn, that was powerful.
The last scene in Inception. Did you see Inception?
Yes.
So when they're going through levels in the dream, and they had to do this task and like get this guy out. In order for them, they had to get this guy out that was like in the 5th level in a dream, which you can't even really come out of. in order for them to be okay in real life. And all these events are happening and they're going through so much turmoil and they have a little bit of time to get everything done. And you don't even know what the hell is going on. And they're fighting and people are trying to save them. And then all of a sudden they kick the bus and it's going into the water. And once the bus goes into the water, he has to wake up. And he wakes up. We're still thinking he's in the dream. And we're thinking they're done. Like they didn't finish the mission. Everything is, they're going to go to jail, all of them in real life when they wake up. And this guy wakes up in the freaking airplane. And the guy that they were trying to save or to like bring back from the dream state is sitting right next to him. He pulls out the phone to make that phone call like, you were not to arrest them. You know what I'm saying? It's such a fly ending. It's such a fly ending. Like the writer, everything. I love everything about it. Just the music too. Scores in a movie just make the best everything. You can't have a great scene without a great score. And I think that Leonardo DiCaprio did his thing and everyone, the whole cast. But I just love the ending of Inception. It's such a heartfelt movie. And life is like a dream state. You go through levels and you're just like, I just want to go back. I think everyone one time or another, or you will if you haven't, you just want to go to sleep. You just want to be in that dream state and just like not be bothered by the real world. You know what I'm saying? And that movie is just so good. To me, it's amazing. And that I love the ending of that movie. And then other movies, I don't want to be mean, but the ending was the best thing that happened.
And just a question that I'm going to put out there.
Go ahead.
I like Ryan Murphy. He's done some great work on television and movies. And back in the day, he did the show where they were casting like Glee or something like that. And I'll never forget one of the questions that he's always asking certain people. And I'm just going to pose that question to you. If I was writing for Jessie Cotto right now, what should I be writing about? And how would that look like? I want to write for you. How does that look like? What am I writing about?
Definitely a dramedy, right? Definitely what I've been through and how dramatic I am and how I make the water seem deeper than what it really is. Definitely that scenario where I really don't see and never really saw who I was, but everyone else did. And the ending is so beautiful. But it's so funny and so kooky because I am very airy. And everyone says that about me. Like I go outside and I like turn around, I have big pocketbooks and I'm like hitting people and knocking stuff over, but I'm still going. And it's almost like I'm like walking without looking, but there's always like this step that comes up. I'm doing the right steps and I'm never falling, right? But I'm always making it. I may not get there when I think I'm supposed to get there, but I always arrive. You know what I'm saying? And the journey is really funny. It's very relatable. A young lady who's raising a boy. Now he's a man that's always worried about him. And I'm creating my own little worries in my head. You know, someone who's like, damn, I'm like, I never thought I'd be single at this age, but I need to be single because I've always been with someone and I've never been with myself, you know, and always relied on someone else to love me and I didn't love myself. It's all real coming of age situations that we all go through, but it's so funny that sometimes I sit in my house and I think about the shit that I went through that day and I'm laughing like, oh my God, it's funny. So yeah, definitely a dramedy.
Okay.
And real life stuff. Almost like what is it? Eat, pray, love.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I think he was part of that. I think Ryan Murphy was part of that. I think he directed that. Una preguntita, I'm gonna get off a little bit here.
Yeah, sure.
Getting a little personal because I know you a little. I know.
Yeah.
Are you aware that you make an impact every time you go to some place? Like, and I'm going to share this with you. Maybe you don't
Yeah.
know this, and obviously you don't, because I'm going to share it with you for the first time. We went. I think there was that you had alluded to it, right? Because we were spoken about Rick Herrera, and in that restaurant we spoke about, and we reached out to him, whatever. So I'm in that restaurant. I think the place is in Coney Island somewhere. I think it's called Teura. By the way, they got the best vanilla bean flan. They're gonna get a shout out.
That was the entire experience was amazing.
But the guy there, he goes, I had went back at one time. He goes, that girl that you were with, when is she coming back?
Mm.
And in my head, I'm saying, who are you talking about? And then I was like, wait a minute, the only girl that I remember being there with was you. And then I was like, wait a minute, he's talking about Jessie.
Let's focus on the fact that he called me a girl. I like that I'm a girl.
Pero date quieta. I don't know if you're aware that when you go to certain places, hay un enfoque, like everybody goes, like people are either attracted to you, attracted to your energy, attracted to your, I don't know what you want to call it, your aura, whatever it is, but there's something that you're giving off that you may not know it, right? But it leaves a little impact. Because in my mind, I'm saying, condenado, I'm not here with Jessie. I'm here with this group of people. Or I'm here with this group of people. Why are you asking me about this woman that you know what I'm saying? Like I walked into that place that one time, and why are you asking me about it?
Well, I'm happy you told me, because he called me and I felt weird not telling you. He called me and told me you came back without me. He called me. He told me.
Say that again.
He called me. I said, I'm happy that you told me about this. Who? He called me and told me you went back without me.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Called you.
I said, he called me. The server from the place called me and said, hey, your friend is here without you. Oh my God, you're so late, bye.
Obviously, he didn't call you.
No.
I know. So, but are you aware of that, or you don't?
Listen, it depends. It depends on where I am.
¿Cómo te das de cuenta? You don't know.
Yo me doy cuenta because let me tell you. First of all, I have I don't know how to say it in English. Yo tengo mi don. I have what I have, right? And I feel like I have respect for people. When I walk in and I talk with someone, I look them in their eyes. When I walk into a restaurant, I respect the server that's serving me. I worked in the service industry for years. So of course a server is going to remember who I am because I respect them and I don't treat them like a piece of crap like a lot of people do when they go out and expect them to. That's my servant. I don't care if you are someone who cleans hotel rooms, you're a maid. You got to respect these people who are around you. I don't care what job you do. Back to what my dad told me. Whatever you do, be the best at it, because the oddest jobs pay the best money because you need us. You need me. Don't treat me like crap. Respect me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When I walk into a space, I respect people straight off the bat. If I'm not feeling you, I'm not going to entertain. And that's just what it is. Right. But I try not to put myself in those situations ever. And God has been on my side that I'm no longer in a space where people are not going to be like-minded or not have the same energy as me. So yeah, I appreciate that though. I'm just a respectful girl.
Nicely said. Ahora, it's almost, I don't know how long we've been talking, but obviously.
Who cares? It's you and I.
It's flowed very well. Pero obviously, I think this is going to be my last question of the
Thank God.
Of the convo. Que de gracia. Thank God, she says. Ahora, aquí voy. So my last question to you is this. Let's say nobody knows you and they're getting to know Jessie Cotto for the first time. What do you want them to take out of this conversation with this Miss Cotto? If I'm seeing you for the first time, or if I'm getting to know this person for the first time, and it's probably the only time, let's say it's the only time I get to have this interaction with this person, what should they take away from this?
That she's funny, genuinely. That's what a lot of people take away from me. And that I'm honest and that I'm respectful.
Funny, genuine,
And
and respectful.
yeah, and we're all the same. We're all the same. It doesn't matter what you do, what's in your bank account, we're all the same. We're all battling something that someone doesn't know. You just need to be kind. I'm a kind human being. And that's something that I've always had within me. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and I'm thankful. That's what I want people to take away from every situation with me, every interaction with me, that I'm grateful to meet them, even if it's like, hello, goodbye, I never want to talk to you again. I don't care. But I'm grateful to know
But
that
be
I'm
great.
never going to talk to you again. Like, that was quick. But everyone deserves respect. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I love that. And I demand that. And I give it to other people. So that's what I want them to take away. But they'll get to anyone who interacts with me they'll see for themselves. It's an experience. Let's laugh. Like, I don't want to not laugh. If we're not laughing, I'm sorry. This is over.
I agree.
Right? This is over.
And speaking of over, I think our time is up. Como siempre, yo le digo a mi gente, listen, it does not have to be your final shot, but at the end of the day, please, you have to start and you have to take a shot. So here it is to you guys.
Is that liquor?
Once again, my guest, Yecenia Jessie Cotto, un placer a tenerte a ti conmigo hoy aquí.
People, you don't have respect.
You know, I have nothing but much love for you, baby.
I love you. You don't have respect. You didn't get a shot. Andy Cohen would have given his people shots. You didn't warn me nothing.
It's
loco.
¿Qué tú querías? Esto estaba en Zoom. ¿Qué tú querías? Hopefully next season.
Get a shot.
Next time we'll be live in a live set. It's going to be great.
Oh, the next time everybody anything is going to be flashing lights, baby.
Listen, thank you all for joining us next week. Hopefully you'll be seeing this later on tonight. Si no se hace muy tarde, si no, lo vamos a ver mañana por la mañana. Once again, much love to Yecenia Jessie Cotto. And next Tuesday, we'll be premiering another short film. I believe the next one on the list is called Lips, starring Cedric Leba Jr. and Rachel Arack, Andy Allen, Stella Carolla. So watch for that. But once again, thank you, Jessie. Te quiero mucho. Good night.
Yala. Bye.
Bye-bye.